Hi, my name is Kevin. When Forrest Fenn's treasure was announced as discovered, nothing about it rang true to me. The mysterious finder, the delay in presenting photographs, and the fact that recent emails disclosed that in December 2019 and March 2020, he had indicated that he wanted the search to be over. I don't believe the discovery to be legitimate. That being said, I have absolutely no proof to back that up. But again, other than possession of the chest, the finder has offered us no proof either. This is a very easy hike, only about a mile, and about a quarter of the time you're going to be off trail. For that reason, you should be aware that there are rattlesnakes out there, and I've seen tree markings like this indicate a presence of a bear, and tree markings like this that indicate the presence of a mountain lion. I have not seen either of these predators out there. However, I have seen rattlesnakes. Again, you'll be off trail, so please be very careful, take the necessary precautions, and I take no responsibility whatsoever for anything that happens to you out there. Have fun and be safe. While watching this video, it's very important to remember that the area of the hike, which is the East Fork Trail near the Jemez Falls campground, has been experiencing severe to extreme drought, and this information is from NASA. Now that has caused the aquifer to lower, and in turn it has caused some waterfalls to go dry. And that is a very important fact to remember while watching this video. Here's our final destination. This is a place I call the room. It is up against what I call the wall, which is also what I believe to be the blaze. Here's a little tighter photo of the room. And finally, here's an aerial, and that orange dot is me. Now here's an overhead of the room. It's about 300 square feet. And if you look at the area with the blue arrow, from there on down it's very, very steep, so you can't get in there. Now, if you look on the left-hand side, there's a B. That is a boulder that kind of blocks your entrance because there is a hallway that you have to get in through. You start at E, the entrance, and we'll actually have a video of going through that entrance to get into the room. And I think that corresponds with Forrest Fenn saying, "I've gone in there many times alone." I'm paraphrasing here. Now here's some drone footage of the room. On the right-hand side there, that is the wall. And we're coming up, that orange is me, that orange beanie is me. And you can see it's very well hidden. And if you look on the far side as soon as we get there, you'll see that the entrance is hidden by a good deal of foliage or trees that block the entrance. So it's very, very well hidden. And as I mentioned, what we're looking at right down there, straight in about the middle right now, is very, very steep. So you cannot get into the room from that angle. You have to get into it from the far side here. And that is it. Now here's the wall, here's the room. And I was working this area in the fall of 2019 and the spring of 2020, but stopped when the announcement of the discovery of the treasure was made. Now the reason I didn't make it to the room is because this creek here had gone dry. And I was reviewing my notes in 2021 and realized that this probably had been an active creek and that I should check this out, just out of curiosity. So now I'm going to take you to the room via two ways. First way, through Forrest Fenn's poem. And the second way, through what Forrest said, that when the location was disclosed, people would say, "My God, why didn't I think of that?" What you are looking at here is the entirety of my solve to Forrest Fenn's treasure. Again, this is one guy's opinion. It's a theory. So I'll take you through it one by one. Number one, begin where the warm waters halt. This is the boundary of the Valles Caldera National Preserve. Now, a caldera in English is a cauldron or pot, and the edge of a pot is where the warm waters halt. Number two, and take it in the canyon down. Well, if you're right here, you are in the El Cajete Canyon, and in the bottom of it is the East Fork of the Jemez River. Number 3, not far, but too far to walk. Well, in order to know that, you have to know number 4, which is put in below the home of Brown. Now, this is the day-use parking lot of the Jemez Falls Campground. And right there, where I have the number 3, is a vault toilet. That is the home of Brown. So, if you're going to put in below that, you're going to put in down here number 4, which is right by Jemez Falls. Now, if you were to walk the river all the way down there, it's not too far, but walking in a river is challenging. It can be done, but it's challenging. So from here, you get in your car on 4, and you jump into the Jemez Falls Campground and come all the way here and again park there. By the way, this is the East Fork Trail right here, and you're going to be on that. Now, from number 4, we go to number 5. From there, it's no place for the meek. Now, right through here, you're in an area called Valecitos de los Indios. In English, Little Valley of the Indians. That is no place for the meek. Now, you come out of that, and again, this is the East Fork of the Jemez River. Once you come out of that, right about here, it says, number 6, the end is drawing ever nigh. And number 7, there'll be no paddle up your creek. There is a very shallow creek that heads this way, almost northeast, and that is the creek you want to go on. After you get on this creek, there is a fork that goes up here that's not shown on this topo. And that's the one you want to go on, and that's just heavy loads and water's high. And then number 9, when you're at the end of the creek, if you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down, your quest to cease. When you get to number 9, you'll see the wall here highlighted in red. This is also what I think is the blaze. This is a photo of the wall from the south side of the East Fork of the Jemez River, and this is something that stands out. I believe this is the blaze. Now, this red circle here on the wall indicates where number 9 is and where what I call the room is located. And as we go in closer, you can see the water stain marks from where the water used to come out of that wall and create a waterfall or water's high. Now, to get to this end point, number 9, and where I think Forrest Fenn's treasure was hidden, we're going to start here in the day-use parking lot of the Jemez Falls Campground, jump on the East Fork Trail. Now remember, this hike is just a little shy of a mile, and about a quarter of it you're going to be off trail. So you take this until you get about here, which is a little shy of 7,900 feet elevation, and there is a distinct drop of the trail. You will absolutely see it. And we want to go about 300 feet from where that drop starts, and you will see this arroyo right here. We want to work the north side of the arroyo here, and you're going to see on the left here, you're going to see the wall, and as soon as you can take a left-hand turn and work your way around the wall, you do, and you're going to go over the main creek there. There's another little creek right there, and you're going to go about 200 feet beyond it, and that will take you right to number 9, which again is the room, as I call it, or the location where Forrest Fenn's treasure was hidden. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the room one more time, but this time we're going to do it on Google Earth. We're going to start here in the day-use parking area of the Jemez Falls Campground, and we're going to bring that in a little bit so that I can show you one more thing, and that is the vault toilet, which is the home of Brown. So now we're going to add the trail to get to the room. And let's bring this out a little bit so you can see all of it. Now, you're starting on the East Fork Trail, and right about here is your drop-off. But before we do that, let's go ahead and add the wall. Let's add the room. So it's down here. So again, your drop-off's right here. Your arroyo's right here. Now, I've shown the trail kind of wide of the arroyo, north of it. I generally jump off almost just barely on the north side of the arroyo and actually work the arroyo at times to get down to this point. Again, your wall will be on the left-hand side. Again, make this turn wherever you feel comfortable. But you're going to do it primarily about 300 feet or more past the start of the drop-off here. So now we're going to add in the current active creek that stops at 7,500, the former creek that went right up to the room, the current creek that is active. There's another creek that's active, that little one right there. And then we're going to add in the 2 dry creeks. So again, this is the entirety of the trip. It's going to take you, I don't know, maybe a half an hour, maybe a little bit longer. And it is less than a mile, and about a quarter of it, this area right here, you're going to be off trail. And that is how you get to the room. So here we are back along the east fork of the Jemez River, and we're going to go ahead and put in the wall, and now the room. And now we're going to show you the correct no paddle up your creek. And that's the way it looked. And I said it looked because if you look now, the creek starts at 7,500 feet elevation. Back when it was running, it started at about 7,850 up on the wall and came down here. But right now, it is dry as can be. However, there is one fork of this creek that is still active. And there's another creek through here. And there's a couple of dry creeks along here too. So this area was absolutely lush. I've done a poor job putting in these creeks, but if you read the terrain, the stains, and the rocks, you can absolutely tell that this place was just mad with creeks. Now, one more thing I'd like to add is that Forrest said that a female searcher had gotten within 200 feet of the solution. And if you follow this line right here, from the existing active creek to the creek that once was, it is approximately 196 feet. Again, that's 196 feet. I would hate to be the lady who got to this point and didn't go down here, but in her defense, this is dry, and the poem tells you to go to the end of the creek. So there's no way you would have followed this up unless you knew that this was the way. I neglected to mention that the existing creek, the water for that actually starts about 100 feet up the wall. And there's evidence all throughout the wall, water stain marks, etc., that show that it was the entirety of the wall was basically a water wall. And I think that is the definition of water's high. Forrest once said, "My God, why didn't I think of that?" is what people would say when they found out where the treasure was hidden. He also said, you need to make all the lines cross in the same spot. So we're going to look at a few of the other things that he said and see if we can't find some interesting coincidences. He said he had hidden the treasure chest more than 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe, and that he considered north anything over 271 degrees. So now we're going to lay a few of those lines on a Google Earth here. And the first thing we have to determine is where is Santa Fe, since we need to have a line that is 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe. So if you Google the city of Santa Fe, what you'll get is 200 Lincoln Avenue, which is this building right here, which is the city manager's office. So if we lay that line 8.25 miles north, it ends up there. Now, he said he considers north anything north of 271 degrees. So we're going to need to lay that line in there. And as you can see, that 271 degree line comes very, very close to Jemez Falls. So let's bring it in a little bit. And you can see the 271 degree line goes right through there and very close to the east fork of the Jemez River. Forrest also gave the clue that the treasure was above 5,000 feet in elevation and below 10,200 feet in elevation. I thought the 10,200 feet was an unusual number, but I added the two numbers together and they averaged 7,600 feet in elevation. And I thought I would plot that on my 271 degree line, which was started at 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe, and see where that got me. So again, here is our 271 degree line coming off of the 8.25 mile north of Santa Fe line. And what we're going to do is see where that first hits 7,600 feet in elevation. And if we add that, come on in, it is right there. We're going to get rid of the 271 line, and we're going to add one more item to this photograph. The room. It is right there. Is it a coincidence? Quite possibly, but I think this may add some credence to my solution. Again, this is just one guy's opinion. I'm not here for a debate because I can't prove anything. I have not found anything that Mr. Fenn has said that the room violates. If you do find something that is inconsistent with what he said, I'd like to know. But again, I'm not here for an argument. I'm not here for a debate. Just throwing up some ideas. And until we get maybe a lie detector test on the guy who found it and Forrest's grandson, we're never going to know. So again, just something fun to play with. Now you might be wondering how far the this point right here is from the room. So let's go ahead and do a measurement here. Bring that on here. It's in feet. We'll take that right here and we'll go over to the room. You can see it's only 225 feet difference between that point, which is at the 7,600 feet elevation on that 271 degree line, which is off of the 8.25 mile north of Santa Fe line. Again, could be a coincidence. I have my doubts. Here is a diagram of the room, and you can see the big boulder here that sticks out in front, and this is the area that is very, very steep that you cannot climb in through here. And here is the entrance here. The rest of the area here is all blocked with boulders. So when you see the video, you're going to see this boulder. So when you get right here, it actually looks like you're cut off. It's not until you get about right here that it all opens up and you can see this whole area in here. And again, this is about 300 square feet. This rock right here is a great seat, natural seat. And the water, when it did come down, came down basically in a tube right there. And I believe the treasure was put in that tube. There's a little cavity in there. And you can see all along here, very, very fine sand, which is basically the erosion of the rock from the water that came down here. Again, when you're looking at the overheads, you can see this fine, fine sand. And we're going to go to a photo next to show that a little better. This is an aerial of the previous diagram. Again, you can see the main rock right there. And the boulder that blocks your view from the entrance, again, the entrance is over here, so you're coming down this hallway this way, and you're looking straight ahead of the boulder, and it looks like you are blocked off. It isn't until you make this left-hand turn here that it all opens up. Now, you can see the cavity is right in there where the water used to come down. And you can see all this fine sand right through here, which is indicating the direction of the water. I think the water obviously came down here. I think it flowed down here. And then at some time, I also think this was probably a waterfall as well, because you can see the sand was also moving in this direction, but eventually built up here and dammed it up. And I think the final direction of the water was down through here. Here's a diagram for the entrance to the room, and we will look at a photograph in a second, but as you're walking in and you're initially walking in, this boulder blocks your way and it looks like you're cut off. However, you take a left-hand turn and you do enter the room. The photograph of the diagram we just looked at, and this is the entrance corridor, and right up here is the wall. But that boulder is right there, so it kind of looks like you're cut off. I apologize for the angle of the photograph. I've taken better. But again, this is the floor and you're walking through here. But when you're standing right here, it looks like you're cut off. But you make a left-hand turn through that way and you get into the room. Now I'm at the rock face and I've come up what I think is the last waterfall, because just a little bit over there you'll see all the trees and the green's actually coming down through here. Now this is right up against the wall. There's a little corridor here, a little privacy corridor. So we're gonna just take a look in here, see what we can find, because this is cool. Or it might be just another dead end. But it's my dead end. Okay. We get to here. It looks like water definitely poured through here. You got all this sand having rubbed off the sides of the wall. You could hide right here, see mountains. But I'll never know looking at that. If you're looking up at the water, you're getting wet, look quickly down. Should have been right about there. Well, I'm just going to take a look along here, just for kicks, since this is a really cool area. Nope, that's it. So now you go down here. Whoa. That's not good. Now you go down here. And the water coming down through there. You see the brushes up there that have grown up. And there's actually some water still going down there, just barely a trickle. You can see some of those live plants. So it's coming down here, splashing down here. There's no way, unless it's really, really high, that it's going to get over here. It can't get up and get over. It did for a while. I was carrying some stuff down and it basically choked itself out. But that way, absolutely. So, in conclusion, let's take a look at the, let's take a look at my elevation. Elevation says 7681. 7681. So, I don't know. There's nothing to say he was here, so I guess I was wrong. That's it. You gotta go up through the creek, and let me give you, so you got these walls here, you got that opening, there it is to the top, and now I'm going to take, so it's really cool. I mean, you could just, oh man, there's a great little seat here with your back against the rock, and you could just watch. You just watch the waterfall come down, sitting on this rock here. Oh my God, it's a perfect seat too. Jeez. And nobody would find you back here unless they bothered to come up the creek, which is going to be slippery and hard up through there. I think this was it, but with that sand, there's no way you could prove that there was a box there. I don't like that it doesn't have a log covering it. Maybe it did, but it just washed away. That's it. Now I'm going to drone it. Now before I go, I would like to show this area because it's really cool. You have to come up through that little opening there, and then you're back here. You're all isolated. Like I said, the water came down here. You can see again the limestone that it's rubbed away. It went over there a little bit, but it's got a pretty good bump there, so eventually it choked itself out and it all came down here. So, and then, like I said, you got to get in through there. You got this big rock here. See the sky, see the mountains over there. See the mountains over there. This is a pretty cool little hideaway. Let's get over here so you can see the other side real good. Again, that's where you come in, right down there. This is the edge. There's a huge drop down there. And this is it. I think this was the final place. But I'll never know. GoPro. Hopefully the drought will end soon and water will again fill this area, with creeks running and waters high falling from above. I sincerely hope I get the opportunity to see this area restored to its glory the way Forrest Fenn saw it when he first came upon this Rocky Mountain Garden of Eden. If you go to this place, regardless of your thoughts as to its relationship to Forrest Fenn's treasure, please be careful, respect Mother Nature, and leave nothing but footprints. Thank you for watching.